Welcome CRM crew, my name is Nick and in today's video I'm going to be going over how to use the free marketing suite inside of your HubSpot CRM system. In this video I'm going to be going over how to use the landing page, ads, forms and emails as well, and I'm going to be covering each of these features extensively so you will become hopefully an expert by the end of this video. Finally, if you are signing up to HubSpot CRM for the first time, it would be greatly appreciated if you could use my link below, as it really does help me out. So without further ado, let's get into this quick tutorial. So once you log into your HubSpot CRM system, you will come to the home screen. Now, as you know, in this video, I'm going over the free marketing suite, how to use all the different areas of the free marketing suite. So firstly, we want to head over to our marketing drop-down menu up the top here, and I'm going to be covering the ads, emails, landing pages, and the forms in this video. I'm going to go and skip ahead to emails, and I'm going to come back to ads later on in this video. But let's dive straight into the emails. So if we go to our emails area, I'm going to be explaining what the emails are, how to use them, everything to do with them. So as you can see on the left hand side here, we have got the all emails. We've got draft, scheduled, sent and archived. Now these are essentially emails that we are sending out from our HubSpot CRM system to our lists or our contacts, our records inside of the system in an attempt to market to them, sell products to them, etc, etc. And this is where we would go ahead and send out those emails to those particular people. So like I just mentioned, we've got a draft, scheduled, sent and archived, and we can go ahead and draft emails that we're going to send out. We can schedule emails to send out, and we can obviously see the sent and the archived emails as well. So this is where we can go ahead and manage all of that. We've got our management means up the top here. We've got analyze and we've got health. So on the analyze page, this is where we can look at all of the data that our emails are collecting, our sent, our click-through rate, our open rate, what our reply rate is, the delivery success, how our emails are performing. So this is where we can get a really good overview of all of the emails that we're sending out, okay? And you can also get specific statistics on each email that goes out, and I will come back to that in a moment's time and I'll show you how to do that. But this is where we can get an overview of all the emails being sent out. Now on the left we have all emails and a few other means of managing the data we're looking at. So we can change from all emails to the type of email that we're sending, just to filter down the emails that we're sending out. And again, we've got the date range here, so we can select the date range we want to see the data for as well. So we can get some very insightful information on the analytics page, and it's very, very useful. And then finally, heading over to the health page, I'll be totally honest with you, this is a brand new feature. I'm not completely fluent, I'm not completely knowledgeable on the health area. My understanding with the health area inside of HubSpot CRM is it allows us to manage the quality of our email. So I'm sure as you're familiar, you get email providers and they rate or they score your domain name. Now the health area inside of HubSpot allows you to manage it, try and improve the health score of your domain. So this essentially prevents you being put on any lists, block lists, or the quality of your domain being driven down because you're getting a lot of bounce rates and things like that. So that's what the health is here for. As I said, I've not explored it extensively, so it'd be wrong for me to comment on it. But we will head back to the management page up the top left hand corner here. So in order to create a new email, what we need to do is go to the create email button up the top right hand corner here. So press create email, and then we can select from some basic templates that HubSpot provide, or if you've got the paid version, you go ahead and use all of these fancy looking templates. Unfortunately, in the free version, we don't have access. So you can use any of these. I'm just going to use the simple template as an example today. And then on this page, this is where we can go mad with our customization. We can add images, dividers, social, video, button, text. We can also change the layout as well, and it's really simple. All you need to do is just drag and drop, and you can fit it on anywhere on the screen. As you can see, I've now added the social. You can delete it again very easily as well. It's very drag and drop basic. It's really simple, very user friendly. I'm a big fan of this inside of the HubSpot system. Now moving on to the design side, we can also design the background templates, change the colors, things like that, the text styles, the fonts, what the buttons look like, the colors and the dividers as well, what those colors look like, the height, the size of them, etc. So that can all be edited for the emails that we are sending out. Of course, it's really, really important. So moving on from the design side, we also have settings, and this is where we can manage the settings. So this is the from name, who the email shows it's from, the from address. So obviously I've got it as my email, and you can go ahead and change that if you would like to. You need to add a subject line, that is required. So if I just put example, and then you can preview the text as well, give a bit of preview text information. So obviously something to catch the eye of the potential reader. Moving on, we've got internal name, which is copied by the subject line, but you can change that if you would like to make it specific to this email. Makes it easier, or prevents you getting confused, shall we say. We've also got the language. We've also got subscription type. So what type of email subscription is this? And that is marketing information. You've got office location, so you can add that if you would like to. And then finally, we've got some plain text options. So I'm sure you're familiar when you get an email and your email provider doesn't load up the images in case there's a problem. This is where you can design the plain text side of things, so you can customize that as well if you'd like to. Moving on from there, we've got send or schedule, and this is where we can go ahead, select the recipients for our email. So using the lists, like I mentioned earlier, if you're not familiar with lists, feel free to check out another video that I've done on this YouTube channel, and that explains how to use lists. So you can select the lists, and once you've selected them, you can then go ahead and work through them. If there's any in that list that you definitely don't want to send this email marketing to, you can go ahead and select them, and that email won't be sent. And then you can select whether don't send to unengaged contacts or not. That's just a personal preference if you would like to. And then from there, you can either send that now, so you just press review and send, or finally, you can schedule this for later if you would like to. So let's say you want to plan your email marketing, which I suggest you do. You can plan for the new year, for example. Let's say I want to send this out on the 4th at 8:46, whichever time you would like to send it out, and then that's it scheduled. You can also send a test email as well to your own email address or a couple of people inside of your business just to check you're happy with it. And you can receive email as specific contact, and you can choose which contact if you want to as well. And you can also select whether you'd like to send the plain text version or the normal version. So very, very useful. So once you're happy with your email, all you need to do is press the review and schedule button. And now this email has been scheduled. You can see we've got a warning, and that is a default value for the token contact.firstname is required. But that is just a warning, and you can go ahead and remove the HubSpot branding if you get the paid version, which unfortunately we cannot do if we have the free version. So once you're happy, schedule that, and there you have it. We've now scheduled our new email. We can exit out and we can go back into it as well if we need to change the designs. And then we also have our performance here. Like I mentioned earlier, you get your open rate, your click rate, and your reply rate, your delivery rate, all of that on each specific email as well. So we will get this information when it gets sent out, and we can see all of this information here. So that will be helpful in gauging how successful that particular email was. So now we've finished emails, what I'm going to go ahead and show you is the landing pages. So landing pages are exactly what they say on the tin. This is where we can go ahead, create a landing page, and then direct traffic to that particular page in an attempt to get contact sign-ups, for example, forms, or updating them with relevant information. You can use landing pages for absolutely anything. So again, on the left-hand side, we've got draft, scheduled, published, and archived, and we can use all of these. We can see our draft landing pages, our scheduled landing pages, and our published landing pages. And then you can see here on each landing page, if we click on it, we can get some of the design changes, but I'm going to go through that in a moment's time. It is also possible, of course, to, if we press the details button on the view, we can go ahead and see the metrics for that particular landing page. So the page form submissions, new contacts, click-through rate, all of this interesting information that is going to be useful to manage our landing pages. Now, if we click back, all I'm going to show you how to do now is create your own landing page. So if you press the create button up in the top right-hand corner there, and then we need to give our landing page a name, so I'm just going to call this example landing page. And then the website up here, this is automatically set by HubSpot. So if we press the create page button, and then this will go ahead and load up, and then we can select from a number of different templates that HubSpot kindly provide for us to create our own landing page. So I'm just going to use this one as our example. select the template and then just press the select template button up the top right hand corner here. And this is again where we can go design mad, design a template to suit exactly what our business is trying to achieve. So obviously we want the design to suit our business, so we can go ahead, move things around, we can delete things, we can add rich text, images, forms. Forms I will come on to later on in the video, but if you just drag and drop, then you can go ahead and add a form and you can select which form you would like to add, but I will be going over that later on. Going back over, we've got dividers, icons, buttons. We can really go mad with the design. Again, the contents as well. We can add or go through the contents, manage each content on the landing page. So we can remove particular images, the design, the style, so the font and things like that. Honestly, I could go over this for ages. There's so much you can do with it. You can get really, really specific on your landing pages. The only thing you can't get rid of is the HubSpot branding down the bottom here. But again, like I said in the earlier part of this video, if you get the paid version, you can do, and it may be worth you doing that. So from the content side, we also get settings. So we need to give our name a page title. A page title is required to publish your page. So I'm just going to call this example landing page. We get the page URL as well, which is obviously automatically set like I mentioned earlier, but you can add the slug at the end, and that is based off the page title. Now bear in mind, I just wrote out the page title, that is live, other people will see that. The internal page name, however, is not live. No one else will see that apart from people inside of your HubSpot CRM system. Now you can choose or upload an image to be used when sharing your page on social media. So I'm sure you're familiar when you get a WhatsApp message of a link. Some of them you do get the images, some of them you don't. That is essentially that option. And if you click yes, then you need to go ahead and upload a relevant image. Moving on from there, we get the optimize, and this is where you can go through the metadata and update accordingly. I'm not too familiar with all of this. If you are, go mad with it. This is where you can go ahead and improve your SEO and things like that. And then finally, we have our publishing options. So we can choose to publish now or schedule for later. This is exactly the same as the emails we spoke about earlier. And we can unpublish page on a specific date as well, which is actually really, really useful. So you can go live for only a couple of days. Let's say you've got a limited clothing sign up date or something like that, or a sales page for a couple of days. This is where you can go ahead, schedule it for 2 days and then take it down a couple of hours later, for example. I don't know. Once you're happy, all you need to do is press the publish button, and then it will give you this warning message saying your landing page will be published immediately for all the world to see. Are we happy? And then we can go ahead, publish and continue editing, or just press the publish now button. And like I said, you can go back, make edits accordingly if you need to. And as you can see, we have our data here. Now this is the link example landing page, and if I go ahead and click that, this is our landing page that we have so carefully designed. Obviously we've made no changes to this, but you can see how this would definitely work. And we add a form here, get signups, and then obviously nurture those signups and hopefully get sales from them. So that is why that is useful. And landing pages, like I've said earlier, they're a really, really useful tool. You can see the ones that have been published, draft, and obviously any archived or scheduled. If we use the scheduling, we would have all that as well. We got the edit, we can clone it, and if we press the more, we can view, change, look at the details, move to folder, unpublish, archive, and delete if we need to as well, just in case you are unfamiliar with any of that. Moving on from the landing pages area, we have our forms as well. So if you head over to the forms again are exactly what they say on the tin. You create a new form. This is a means of getting signups. Often you can either embed the forms on your landing pages, or another use case for forms is you can get the HTML code and embed it into your own website as well. Forms, again, we get to manage them in this area here, and again we get to edit, clone, and we got the actions of deleting, sharing, export the submissions and things like that. And we can also look at the analytics as well, so all the signups we've got from the different forms, the views on the forms, all of this, that and the other. So you can get some really good data, change the date ranges just like everything else I've demonstrated in this video today. So analytics and the management side, really, really easy. And it's also just as easy to create a new form. So if you go to the create form button up the top right hand corner here, we can choose which form we'd like to create. We've got embedded, standalone, pop up, drop down, slide in left, slide in right box. So I'm just going to select the embed form, press the next button. You can create a blank template, or we can use some of the templates that HubSpot has very kindly provided for us. So I'm just going to use the blank template, press the start button up the top right hand corner here, and this is where we can go ahead and literally drag and drop the fields from our objects that they're called on HubSpot, or your entities, and then that is where they would have to fill out the relevant information. So at the moment we're asking for their email. First name is a choice, but if you press the more option, we can make it required. So now in order to submit the form, they have to put their first name and email, and we can go ahead and add all of the additional elements or the additional fields from any object or any entity inside of your HubSpot system. So you can see contacts, companies, and we can also use tickets, which is really, really useful. If, let's say, you wanted to create a landing page to submit problems with a product, for example, you can very easily go and do this. You can add the ticket properties, and then you can go ahead and drag and drop that information. So the ticket name, the ticket description, and not only that, it will also automatically create a ticket for you. So when you go ahead and do that, they fill out their information, a new ticket is created, and then you can go ahead and manage the tickets and hopefully resolve that problem for your customer. If you want to use your forms for the tickets, you can also obviously use it for marketing. If you're unfamiliar with what tickets are, I've done a video on my YouTube channel. It's very popular, so you're more than welcome to check that out if you would like to. We can use the existing properties or the fields, or we can create a new one, but that is getting a little bit more complex, so I'm not going to go over that in this video. Once we're happy with our form, we can create a follow-up, and the follow-up is literally creating a follow-up sequence. So in case you're not familiar, you can create sequences to target your, or literally it's a means of nurturing your leads to turn them into sales through a string of email marketing that you might plan ahead. So you can create an email that you want to send on day one, and then 2 days later you might send them another email as a follow-up email. And obviously you want to slowly stage that information to eventually get a sale from their submission, or you could use it as ticket resolution as well. So if you want to resolve the ticket problem, you could have a follow-up email just to make sure that they're happy with the customer experience, or something along those lines. But you can see why that would definitely be very useful to communicate and have a string of automated messages so you don't have to get involved. So that is another follow-up option for your forms. And then moving on from there, we have our options. So we can choose to display a thank you message or redirect them to an entirely different page, whichever one you want to do. You can send submission email notification to the contact's owner. I always recommend doing this because it's good that they find out that they have definitely signed up, if that makes sense. They get it in their inbox. You got the send submission notifications to nick@crmcrew.co.uk. So that's your email. You can select a different one if you would like to. Form and error messages can be in the English or any other language. And then from here, we can always create contact for new email address, or you can pre-populate contact fields with known values. So it's one or the other here. Interesting debate on which one you would choose. Essentially, always create a new contact for an email address is what it says, but it creates a new contact every time a new form is submitted. Or you can pre-populate contact fields with the known values, but it requires someone to go ahead and complete that contact record. So I don't know which one you'd want to choose. That's entirely up to you. I suppose it depends on which form data you're collecting. So if you've got first name, last name, etc., etc., the more data you have, the better. But you don't want to just have a load of contact records automatically created with just an email address, because the more data you have on them, I mean, I suppose it could work. Again, it's a debate. I'm going to debate it with myself for about half an hour if I don't move on. So again, you can see why that is two options there. And we can also add link to reset the form. So this removes any pre-populated content on the form and creates a new contact on submission. So you can select that if you would like to as well. And then if we were doing tickets, we can automatically create tickets, yes or no. So I'd definitely recommend turning that on if you are using this for the ticket submission. And again, it's a very useful tool if you want to manage tickets through your forms. And then finally, we've got style and preview. So you've got a few different style options, a block, line, whatever, all of that. We can change some of the style down here with the colors and the fonts and things like that. And we can also test it as well. So we can preview a specific contact inside of the form just to see what it looks like if we would like to. And once we're happy with all of that, we've created our own new form, and we can go ahead and press the update button. and then you can what to expect from submissions, and then it will show you contact records will be updated if a form submission contains a matching email. So that's all good, we're happy with that. So now we're happy with all that, all we need to do is press the publish button, and now our new form has gone live. We can go ahead and copy the form, or if we go ahead copy it, or you can preview it, and that is literally just the form itself, or you can go ahead and copy the form code. So I'd press the copy button, then if I went over to my website, which is run on Wix, I could then go ahead and embed that code into my website, and people could start signing up to the system, and all that information would start getting logged in the HubSpot CRM system. So that is how to create forms. Like I showed you earlier, it's very simple to embed them in a landing page as well. It can be very, very easily done. And then finally, using the marketing drop down menu, I'm just going to quickly go over ads, what ads are. So essentially, ads inside of your HubSpot CRM system is a means of bringing together all of your ad accounts like Google, Facebook, Bing into one place inside of your HubSpot CRM system to then organize and manage your ads very, very easily. So you can see your click-through rate, loads of different data points. And one thing HubSpot does really nicely is it shows you all the percentages and the conversion rate percentages and things like that, that I'm sure if you're familiar with Google Ads, you use Google Ads a lot, you've probably been using these wild spreadsheets that contain crazy amounts of information to work out what's going on. HubSpot does that automatically, makes it far easier to manage. If you are familiar with that, that's exactly what it does. What I'm going to do is just walk through a quick demo that HubSpot provides and just explain a bit. So if we press the see a quick demo button, I'm just going to select one of these, start the demo, and then firstly we're on the marketing dashboard, and this shows you all the contacts created by ads. So any sign-ups or whatever, this will show you all the contacts that have been created. So once we're happy with that, and this is just an example by the way, we can go ahead, this is what the ads would look like. You can see the campaigns, and we've got the audiences up the top here, and we can go ahead and create an ad campaign directly from HubSpot. We can select the page, the headline, the body, etc., call to action, and we can manage all of that, so what it would look like, and then we can select the targeting as well, so special ad categories, locations, etc. Moving on from there, we can then go ahead and literally just publish it. You can see set the budget and schedule as well, and some automation if you would like to. Press the publish button, and like I mentioned earlier, you get your percentages, your conversion rate, your clicks to impressions to contacts. It looks very easy, nice, good on the eye, and like I said, it eradicates that need for those crazy Excel spreadsheets. To be fair, I'm sure there is still a need. They are very, very useful. If you are familiar with them, you'll know what I'm talking about, but this definitely does help. And not only that, it will also obviously be adding the contacts that sign up through your ads to your HubSpot CRM system. So you can see that one contact's being added via this particular ad. So we'll click on that. We can see that Alex Smith has signed up to the HubSpot system via the ad. And if we click on his name, we can clearly see the ad activity. This is where he came from. He came from this particular ad, and that's why he signed up. So that is that demo over. Hopefully that's given you a good insight into what ads are. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you shortly in a moment's time. I trust you are now well versed in using the free marketing suite inside of your HubSpot CRM system. If you have enjoyed this video or it has helped out at all, please drop the video a like and possibly even consider subscribing. It really does help the channel out. If you have any further questions at all, you are more than welcome to either drop me an email, as my details are in the description below, or you can just drop a comment and I will do my absolute best to answer that question. Thank you ever so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you soon in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.